So it's a Sunday night. I've got my was a house jacket, some people call it, and a dressing gown on. I'm getting cozy, just about to settle down and watch some TV. And yeah, today we were at the park. I met my younger brother, hadn't seen him in ages. We had the kids out and we went for like hot chocolate and we had some donuts and a few wee sweeties. And it reminded me of something that came up on an online chat with one of my guys a few weeks ago, and how some of the things we say to our kids with regards to nutrition can make them overweight, struggling adults. So stay tuned.
Why is the camera like that?
Because we're going on a trip. Yay!
Yeah! Is Mommy coming too?
Yep.
Why are we getting a kiss?
Just.
So as a parent, we can obviously have a lot of influence on our children's nutrition. And it's one of the things I actually see a lot dealing with adults, that the terminology that was used as they grew up is what's affecting them now as overweight adults. So as kids, we often grow up, I know I did because I'm 40 and my parents were that post-war sort of generation. So when I was younger, my mum was constantly saying things, and like she wasn't the worst. I know some of the guys I spoke to really had this hammered home, but we got a lot of that. You need to clean your plate. You're not getting your dessert, your custard, your apple pie, whatever it is, unless you finish your main meal. So you're like, oh, and you were banging food in that you maybe didn't even want, just because there was a pavlova at the end of it. You were thinking, I have to eat this stew because I want that pavlova. And the problem with this sort of approach is that you end up, basically kids lose that idea of when they're full or when they're hungry. And we change the whole dynamics of eating. So if you're saying to a child, say a child is full up, and they don't want to eat anymore, well, for our kids, what we'll say is, are you sure you don't want any more? Yeah, Dad, I'm hungry, or I'm full up, I don't want any more. That's grand. And we'll either use it as leftovers, it'll get eaten some other time, or it just goes in the bin. Now, obviously, we don't want to waste food. But again, when I was growing up, other things that were said were things like, there's starving kids in Africa, you have to clean your plate, you can't throw that away, that's wastage. And I know even now it's still hard to sort of leave food on a plate. But ultimately, it's better to leave food on a plate that you don't want than eat a load of extra calories that end up sitting on your waist where you really didn't want them. So when we're chatting to the kids about food, it's basically if they fancy a little bit of a sweet or a treat, and we don't really use the term treat or cheats or anything. Food is food, but if the kids want something that's maybe not the perfect food, then we'll let them have it. We'll always try and do it in such a way that it's balanced. So their dinners will be normal dinners. They'll have the odd wee snack here and there. The great thing about kids, and where they differ to a lot of adults, is a kid will eat a donut and they will get this surge of sugar and extra calories. And rather than sitting down at a desk to answer emails or go into a Zoom meeting, they will bomb around the park like blue horse flies, essentially. So they're always in that bit of a maintenance level or growth level, and it works. The problem for us as adults is that we'll go for a hot chocolate, some marshmallows, some cream, whatever it is, get the donuts, and then we go back and sit at a desk instead of using those extra calories to train hard and really enjoy our workouts. So I think there's a lot to be said for what can we learn from a 4-year-old and how they eat and move. But I think a big part of how we speak to our kids should be not about cleaning their plate, not about a reward at the end of their meal for finishing their meal, because what we'll just do is end up creating an army of adults that don't know when they're actually full up or when they're hungry, and they'll be totally misaligned with their nutrition. So just a bit of Sunday night food for thought, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and remember to like, subscribe, hit the buttons, and I'm away for a cup of tea.